Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the ESL Challenger League here for Season 47 in North America. I'm Darth Mike. This is JRT. Happy to be back with you. Ready to get this one underway. It's a matchup between M80 and Elevate, and I'm eager to see what we've got here, John.
Oh, yeah. Me too, Mike. I mean, M80, obviously at EPL, we were expecting them to perform really well, right? But they exceeded my expectations in a lot of ways, beating G2, Tai Lu as well. And I think just going up against Betboom and making it close as well and coming so close to the playoffs twice, I'm really, really excited for the progression that they've made. I think Sin is slotting to the IGL role better than both of us probably expected he was. And M80 is just that next big NA team that we've always thought they could be.
Yeah, it was so good to finally see M80 at an event with their full roster. They hadn't been able to do that literally at all at any of their lands up until this point. So finally making it happen, finally showing us what they can do. Let's take a look at the schedule for today. See what's over on the B stream. We've got Party Astronauts taking on Mythic. Always a fun game as well. Mythic having a surprisingly good season, giving a lot of teams a run for their money. I think they're enjoying the BO2 format. So some to check out over there as PA are looking to firm up their place at the top of the pool. And Mythic is looking to, fight their way out of some recent losses.
Yes, yeah. I was going to say there's been some recent struggles for Mythic. They're sitting at 11-13 right now, which, at the beginning of the season was way better than that, of course. But, like you said, hopefully they can work their way out of it. We always see some Mythic in playoffs, but I'm not sure if we're going to get there with the competition the way it is right now.
Yeah, it would be tough. Meanwhile, M80, right, now that they've got their complete roster, making their campaign, fighting their way through. They're not all in the US yet. Unless something has changed. I believe Sin is still playing from Europe, so that's something to keep an eye on there, folks. Sin will be playing with less than stellar ping. But fortunately for him, he's not had to do a whole lot of work in their recent ECL games because, his teammates have been doing some heavy lifting. We're talking about Mobs, Swisher, Rex, Slacks. These guys are not missing much.
I think Malbs deserves the most praise, right, out of those three, because he has been lights out, incredible. These stats over the last month are pretty nuts. You're looking at 18.6 frags, a plus 113 kill to death differential, 95.4 ADR, 1.37 rating. This is over a month, and 1.69 impact. He has been lights out. Incredible. I'm so happy to see him kind of hit his stride as well. He's taken that step to the next level, that we always thought he could. And that's even at the highest stage playing at EPL, which honestly was really fun to watch. And then, of course, you have Slacks as well, who's been taking care of a brunt of the work. And we always talk about Swisher as being one of those kind of pillars of this team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the impressive thing as well for M80 is, since bringing Sin in, since having their full roster back on, they haven't actually dropped a map in ECL. They haven't played that many. That's right. But this is, again, with Sin playing over in Europe, losing one map here or there would be absolutely forgivable in that circumstance, and they have not done so. So this is a team that really feels like, this is what we wanted out of the Manx roster. Obviously, that didn't work out for different reasons. But this is now a team that's ready to rocket, right? They're ready to soar, and they're a team that we expect to be at the top of the table here in ESL Challenger League, and I think they're just showing that caliber now. Let's take a look at the veto here, John. We've got our map. We know what we're going to be playing. We haven't even touched on Elevate yet, but we'll get to them.
Yes, we.
But we are going to be having a one map played here in this first one, and it's actually going to be we'll have a pop-up eventually. But Ancient.
Yes, it is Ancient.
Ancient will be played.
There we go. Yeah. So, wow. Ancient was like that one map where you watch them 80 at EPL are like, oh, they're going to win every time they played. They went 4-1. They only had that one loss, and that was a triple overtime loss to G2. And that was the disheartening one, right, where they were about to make it to playoffs and didn't quite get there, lost 20-22 on Ancient, then Inferno 6-13. But Ancient, outside of that, they crushed Betboom twice, G2 and Tai Lu. These were very one-sided score lines, a round differential of plus 37 over those 5 maps. So honestly, it's looking great on the M80 side. And I guess we can jump over to Elevate a little bit here, Mike, and talk about them. Their Ancient actually was one of their best maps, but in recent kind of affairs, it hasn't gone that well for them. They lost to Nouns 13-1 in the Davis Cup, and they ended up bouncing back and beating Wildcard, who actually have had their own struggles because they, Infinite was dropped from the team and their team's kind of looking a little bit rough. But overall, I would say that Ancient is a bit of more of a question mark for Elevate right now versus M80, who have dominated.
I just lost your audio. I don't know if the stream's just lost your audio, but I did see your lips moving, so hopefully that was still going out to stream. But apparently it's good, so we're all good here.
Oh, sorry. Did I cut out?
You did for me, but not for stream, so you're all good. But
Okay.
the exciting thing, yeah, I think that Elevate, this was a strong map for them, but you're right. Against M80, it's going to be a massive challenge. I think both of us are probably leaning towards M80 at this point. The one silver lining for Elevate is figuring out where Sin's playing on their CT sides and targeting the heck out of it because he's dealing with monstrous ping. So that's really, if you're Elevate, that's got to be your game plan coming into it. They play very slow on their T sides of this map to Elevate. They like to sit back and wait out those initial choke point utility and then try and do whatever they're going to do. And I'm curious to see if M80 still try and get up in their face as is their want, or if they settle back in and try and hold on to the nades. Prediction for me, John, it's pretty straightforward. I think you'd be a little bit of a lunatic to pick any other way. M80 has got to be the favorite in this one.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, Mike. I think that M80 has been playing out of their minds lately at the top of NA, right behind Liquid. And if you look at everyone else in Challenger League, I mean, there are great teams here, but M80's taken a step above everyone else, I would say. And they're the ones to beat at this point. You look at their record and say, well, 9-5 is not that great. They didn't play that much so far. Yes, they got a couple more BO2s under their belt recently. But the beginning, they were struggling finding an IGL. They didn't have one, right? Because Manx wasn't there. And those losses, I don't even count them anymore. And like you mentioned, the last 4 have been very clean, very easy wins for M80 with Sin at the helm. So yeah, it's M80 all the way for me as well.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to see once the rubber hits the road, right? Because the wins that M80's been taking in the Challenger League, it's limitless, it's lag. They're competent teams, but they're not quite of the caliber of Elevate. And I think that Elevate, especially just on an individual level as well, is going to be able to potentially provide some more pain points, right? Of having that 5th player not on NA soil, of having potential vulnerabilities there, right? I'd imagine Elevate's thinking about that because this could be a huge win for them. This could be a massive one in terms of the seeding once we get into playoffs. And reminder, folks, the way this works for this season is 10 teams do make it through into playoffs, but the seeding makes a huge difference. If you're in the top 4, you're rocketing on ahead in the upper bracket. Meanwhile, if you're in the lower rungs, you're starting out in the lowers with the only single elimination. So it's a big deal to get these wins over one of your other competitors for one of those top spots.
Yeah, absolutely. And like both teams' records aren't exactly looking great at this point. It's an important one. No questions asked. If players to watch and Elevate, I would say that it'd be Dare and Dia. Dare has been that star player for them for quite some time. He's sitting at the top in terms of frags over the entire season, 312 there with an 88.3 ADR. But I would also almost always look at Dia, one of the more recent pickups from them, taken from Take Flight, I believe it was back in the couple of, the end of 2023, I think it was. Yeah, no, sorry. Was it Fluffy Aimers? Yes, it was Fluffy Aimers. My mistake. I always get those two crossed up for some reason. Don't ask me why. Dia and Peeping both picked up from that squad, and man, oh man, they were the best players on Fluffy Aimers, and they're also continuing to be quite solid on this roster. Dia in particular. So if Dare and Dia can give them headaches, there's a chance for them to come out with the win here.
I'm sure whatever you just said was riveting, John, but I'm afraid you dropped out of the call with me. So there we go. Now he's back. Okay.
Why? My Discord's having a headache today, Mike.
I couldn't tell you, but I'm sure whatever you said was very important and crucial information for the chat. But it's time to dive into the nitty gritty of this. It's time to get this game underway in just a few short minutes. I think your point about, the players to watch, Dia and Dare, it makes sense. The thing about this team is that they've been up or down, right? This is a team that's trying to professionalize a little bit. And sometimes we see this with squads where there's there's a dip when you're players who play with a lot of raw aggression and aim. And then maybe you're trying to get a little bit more standardized, and sometimes we see as those new ideas are coming in, there's a little bit of a dip and then a rise again. So the question is, when's that rise going to happen? When are they going to elevate? Well, we're going to find out, John, after this short break. Welcome to the sunny jungle of Ancient. We begin our tour with Elevate, getting ready for the attacking pistol and aggression in towards mid. We wondered how frisky M80 would be into their face, and well, here it goes. It's kind of a slow crawl, slow creep, surgical one might say, but it's worked out nicely. Slacks gets a second. Yeah. Don't even know if you can see the second. But all right, straight up assassination here. This mid fight has not gone well. Plucking players out one after another. Finally, some sort of an answer, but it is a swift pistol round for M80.
Oh my goodness, that was unbelievable from M80. I mean, all the pieces we kind of talked about, or at least two of them that we talked about, already activating their Slacks, making it look clinical with the 3K from the USP, and Malbs getting on the action with a nice little surgical one tap from himself as well. 1-0 in favor of M80, and the aggression came through immediately. It's something that's very typical of Ancient on your CT side, right? You do want to go for that aggression. You want to get in the face of your opponent, especially around mid. Spending 2 players is not unusual, and I think that's going to happen round after round here. Malbs has been one to take opening fights a lot for M80 as of late. I mean, if we're looking at total opening frags out of the entire team over the last month, 38.6 of them belong to him. And he's got, 36.4 attempts as well. Stin's going to get a couple here. Swisher dropping peeping, and, well, it's as expected.
I thought he was supposed to have bad ping. What's going on? I ain't noticed it yet. Free firing. Whatever you want to say. Swisher, I see, has gone to the Elige school of buying the ump. This has come back into vogue. I don't know how I feel about it, John. How do you feel about the ump in CS2?
You know what? I don't like it at all. Like, I tried it out the other day, and I was like, this just feels bad. But, I mean, look, Elige was using it, so now we have Sin rocking it, so maybe there's something there that we're missing because if the pros are starting to use it.
I liked it early days. When spraying and peeking was worse or felt worse.
Right.
Oh, hello, Sin. Got his little nade line across there. There we go. Because, was that it? That must have been team damage. That has to have been bullets through from his teammate over in sight. Maybe trying to force a player out from Cubby if one had slipped up. That could have been the idea on it. Or fake covering where Sin actually was. Either way, not the intended effect. Let's see if it comes back to haunt them. Only 9 damage. Shouldn't be a big problem, John.
No, should be fine. I'm sure they're not too worried about it. I mean, it's AKs on the other side anyway, so a headshot is death regardless in this case. Swisher, waiting with the smoke. 52 seconds left on the clock. There's plenty of time. Yeah.
This is the problem. He's still holding a molly. Bomb's not even picked up. There's 45 seconds. I know Elevate like this slow creeping style, methodical clear, but when this molly goes down, they're in trouble. They're going to have to commit a smoke to it, I'd imagine, and come through. And that's exactly what Swisher's trying to wait out. There's 3 players here now. Molly goes down. Sub 30 seconds. Smoke up to follow it. They have to go through this. They've just spent both their smokes. They've got one more. Just now they're moving out. 20 seconds. No time to spare. Flashbangs leap. Spray down galore. And yeah. I mean, this is M80 just holding them at arm's reach and never letting them into the site, never letting them into the round, never really giving them the fight they wanted.
Yeah, and on the bonus round too, Sin does go down here to Snap. It doesn't matter, time's up. And then Snap runs out to mid. Yeah, Peeping has to be very cautious. He is not going to fight. He's actually backing off here in towards A main, so the AK can be saved at the very least, but that just went completely awry for Elevate. We talked about it mid-round. They're just waiting and waiting and waiting without the control of either site, without much map control at all. The bomb is still back towards spawn. They have to go and retrieve it before they can even get the XU going. Then there's 20 seconds left. They pop through the smoke. Swisher's waiting with open arms and an M4 in hand. Gets 2. Malbs pitches in for 1 with the MP9, and he also gets an AK upgrade along with Swisher on that site. So that could not have gone better for M80.
Oh, the nade would have finished it off. Swisher robs it with the spam. What?
Whoa.
Connects for 2. Hold on here. Hold on. Didn't even realize the window peek had come through. That's lethal.
Man.
I wonder what that looked like from Dia's perspective. This is getting a little weird. Swisher, nervous about this fight. Can't really risk going for it. I think right now he's trying to play contain, right? Trying to make sure that they can't slip out because he's got a player sight. And he wants to keep the guns from them as well, it seems.
No, I mean,
Firing these rifles out.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, getting the rifles away is a good idea, but he doesn't have to really get aggressive here. That's a mistake a lot of players make when they're in these type of situations up against the pistols. They go, oh my goodness, we have to take a fight. I have to get the advantage here. But no, just wait. Be patient. There, he spots that information. Still got the util advantage. Throws the smoke down, and it's going to be very difficult for Elevate to push through into the B site now. They might just redirect themselves, but Rek is waiting. Can do tons of damage. There's 1, 2, getting it a third. Yes! And the 4K even coming through from Rek for a 4th round on the board.
Talk about bullet economy there. Didn't have a bullet to spare. He gets it on the last one. A 4-man spray down with the A1S is a tough task.
That is.
Even with the lesser weaponry on the other side, that's beautifully done. That's going to be frustrating for Elevate. You get the advantage. You get a crazy pop-off play from Dia, but then it's again, this really slow, late colors to play. Swisher had long since spotted every single player. They knew exactly where they could be. They knew exactly how to contain them. And I don't know. They have to change at the pace. If you keep running this same pace, taking B main control and then playing slow, M80 can read this. We're already seeing it. They're holding mollies late. They're waiting these out. They're very comfortable to just kind of sit and let the round come to them.
Yeah, it's really strange to see Elevate kind of bang their heads against the wall, repeatedly going for the exact same setup every single round. I mean, it's been 5 rounds in a row pretty much of this same approach from Elevate. I don't really understand it. They're not really trying to fight mid. They're not going towards A at all. They don't even have a lurk towards the A side to create some noise. So M80 have had a chance to set themselves up, get comfortable. Like you said, they're in no hurry to use their util, and they're going to pace it well. Molotov goes in towards Jaguar, so Sin is going to back off into Cave. And I mean, Elevate feels like they might be able to exploit something. I'm not sure what they've seen, but we'll have to see if perhaps this will work out for them.
Again, another smoke goes up. Now we're going to be sub 45 seconds. They've still got nades. Swisher still has a smoke. Molb still has a smoke.
Slacks has a Molotov, but he's on A, but still.
They're ferrying this over. Sin's now go. I mean, this is just... Yeah, there's another chain smoking towards Cave. You're just never going to go out. They've got this idea, but they're just setting up and then telegraphing exactly what they want to do. And, I mean, M80 will just stall them. Why not, right? You got no threat anywhere else in the map. Here comes the exact... Okay, flashbang's good.
Okay,
second one's good as well. This is actually working here. Peeping. A double entry off the MAC-10, and we've got hope. Oh, spray down line. Oh! Traded. So this is the way it's supposed to work, John.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, that spray almost takes down the bomb planter, and we still got Mobs alive. He's always absolutely terrifying for his opponents. Well, maybe he's going to try and do something. And absolutely, he's pushing up, looking right into Cave, spotted the foot, knows one is there, but they're trying to bait out the attention in his direction. Molotov will help Mobs focus on the site itself. He manages to flick back into Cave, gets one, but they're so lit. Mob is still doing work here. Finally goes down. Slacks has to back off as a result. At least they do damage and make it a very costly round for Elevate, though, Mike.
That's a massive round for Peeping. Double MAC-10. I mean, if he loses one of those, I don't know if this happens.
No. Yeah.
They're just leaving themselves such little margins here. And again, it's aggressively telegraphed. At some point, M80 are going to start putting 4 over there. It feels ridiculous to say, but there's been no A main presence. Eventually, you're just going to start cheating.
I mean, also, maybe that's what Elevate wants, so they can start forcing M80 to lean towards that B site, and then that's when they're going to trigger themselves to go for an A hit. We'll see, but...
Once again, 3 over towards B main. At least there's 2 in elbow this time.
Yeah.
Bit of a different look. Deep utility early. Maybe a little bit too early, actually, from Eddie. They want to get a little bit friskier on this fight, and the spam's not been good. Dare, does he go through? Oh, he does. Not the way you would have expected, but
and they get both.
Works out. Sin gets caught as well. The spacing is weird, but Swisher could actually find the bomb. Does he know? Does he know? No, he does not. But he may not need to know.
What? Yeah, I mean, if he knew the bomb was there, that would have been quite the coup, but unfortunately doesn't. He goes down after finding two, though, so it makes it very winnable here for the remaining two players. And maybe the problem is they don't know where the bomb is headed. Both players are kind of spread out across the map, so they need to group up and
This is
gamble,
safe.
and it looks like it's going to be an A-site gamble, which probably won't be where the bomb ends up. We'll see.
Yeah, the intention on this is to save, but also it's taking so long that why not? Rex gonna go looking. Surely Dare has to know that this is a possibility.
Could get this.
Surely he has to know. He does not seem to be aware that the A main push could have come through. Certainly not ready for it. Bomb is going to be planted. No one's in the zip code, but now in a 2-on-2, they'll attempt to retake. Why not? I mean, I assume Rec is a kit to pick up. There it is, en route. Slacks needs to get a move on. He was maybe expecting to wrap up through Red Room. It's the only thing I can think of for why this has taken so long, but they didn't do it. They only know about one site, and it's the B site. First chance missed. Wreck up the ramp. Peeping. Playing a bit of an off angle, and it's going to work out. That should be the round. Slacks one more, but he's running out of time. He's trying this. He's giving it a look, but he's not got the kit, and without the kit, this is done business. Shot will land. No survivors for Elevate, but a second round that they much need on the board.
Yeah, I mean, at least getting the frag there, like you mentioned, at the tail end of it, but great job from Elevate, continuing to put pressure on that B site. And again, that's the second round in a row. It's worked. I'm impressed with the fact that they've been so persistent there, but like I mentioned, they've seen something. They want to keep going that direction. And if Peeping continues to get these frags, then, well, I see no reason for them to stop. But they did poke and prod a little bit towards mid there, as we saw. You know, they slipped through those smokes and managed to get a couple of frags early on before Swisher got that 2K. But then they hung around a little bit too long, and that gave the opening for M80 to even it back up to a 2v2. So Elevate, despite what feels like early struggles, are managing to overcome those, and right now it's just pistols coming up for M80 and the saved AWP. You already see one of those pistols go down from Sin over in Jaguar. Dia, there was the pop flash there, and he's just going to bide his time. Bit more of a spread out approach from Elevate this time. And Snav gets one more. And Malbs manages to connect with the Deagle. Let's see what he can do here.
This is the round we get somebody out A main, though. Finally, someone's out A main. Malbs is punishing them in mid in the meantime. They got to be ready for this. There's the spot. There's no more element of surprise here for Peeping, and they want to collapse on him. They want to chase it down, and Malbs is a man on a mission. One hand cannon, 3 headshots found, and now an upgrade to boot. Elevate, you can't lose this. This is the gimme. You can't be losing here. If Slacks gets back on this angle, they're going to be in big trouble. He's crossed. It's going to be over towards long. They might not be aware that Snav is up this far, but they have to know it's a possibility. And meanwhile, the bomb still needs to make its way out ramp. Op clearing. Op checking. Op finding the kill. Dia alone now with nowhere to go. What does he want to do? Route through cave? Try and wrap back, eh? They just need to play contain, and they know it. And now Rex got an AK with which to do so. So he'll attempt this from the cave. What do they think this is on the timing? That's the real question. They have lost track of this. Bomb plant gonna go down. Dia's got it. Now there's confirmation on, and the op doesn't quite find it. Smoke to provide precious few seconds here. But still, players to deal with. Isolates the first fight. Nicely done. Taking the initiative here, knowing that he has to move before they do. Wreck. Oh, he's got the read. There's the shadow spotted as well. It's Slacks who has to get this done. And Dia's played this masterfully. What a recovery. An absolute disaster class of the round. Pulled out of the fire by Dia.
Wow. I mean, look, I thought it was over after Malbs does so much damage against Elevate. They made the mistakes, and Dia literally saves them in every I'm sorry. In every possible way, Mike.
Making you forget yourself just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit,
spicy,
man.
That was really wild.
That was really nice from Dia.
It was beautiful.
Myself a lot.
Absolutely beautiful. Could be some concerns with the spacing from the M80 side, but the reality is slim picking round to begin with. Dia played that to perfection with this one. Sin, Sin actually had vision. I don't think he quite realized it. That we can chalk up to the ping, frankly. Now Dia's collected another. Oh boy. Elevate, making a game of this one. M80 are trying to shut these rounds down before they even begin, right? Going for these fights outside of cave, and this is what Elevate wants. I'm starting to wonder whether there's maybe even just a hint of frustration creeping in for some of this M80. You know, they were so dominant in the early rounds, and no, not so much. Oh, fortunate for Rek. Eyes on the right angle. Could have been a problem if he was continuing that fight from window. But instead now Elevate feel like they're contained, but Slacks peeking into Dia means they don't need to worry about contain. They're not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with them. Oh, and Dia, he's the warden.
Absolutely unbelievable this time. Dia with a 4K not required. 1v3 wasn't required this time, but he has really woken up, and that's why I said he is that player to watch on the Elevate side. If he's playing well, then M80 are going to have some fits and starts, and they are having exactly that right now as we are tied up 4-4. Their money is back in the dumps, and they're going to have to settle for a pistol buy up here. 2 5.7s, 3 Deagles. But the util's so light, and they only have armor on Rek. It's a nade and a smoke. I'm surprised they're not opting to stack a sight at this point, Mike. And you see the peek there from Mobs immediately punished by Dare. And everyone on Elevate continues to kind of, you know, take their time and play the pace that they want to. And that's usually when Elevate does their best, when they're not really forced and put under pressure, and they can fight against that adversity that they face.
Now, this is interesting that M80's ripping the A main gamble stack, or just the A gamble stack in general, going towards Donut. Considering that the tendency here has been B take after B take after B take after B take. It's honestly shocking not to see them focus up on that site. They're hoping for the late window rotation into the Donut stack.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're trying to get proactive, and they've got no flashes behind this. They might catch peeping. There's the spot, but that just confirms what his teammates have already found. There's no one on B. So even if they bring peeping down, it might just be a one rifle consolation prize here. And good luck even getting your hands on that, just to Slacks. What's he got? Dancing off a flashbang player now through the red room, and that'll be Dare to polish things off.
Wow. All right. Well, Elevate 5 in a row now, even though it looked like things were going to collapse a little bit in the middle of all of that. When Dia was in the 1v3, he pulls it off. And I don't know, Mike. I mean, Elevate impressing me on Ancient. As I've said before, it's a team that's played well on this map in the past. And, you know, their slow, methodical play focused on strategy is part of the reason why. But they haven't been doing well on it as of late. And then they come against M80, who have been absolutely ridiculous on it. Well, of course, that was on land, but still. And now they're giving them a little bit of trouble, a lot of bit of trouble. And Sin playing from Europe wasn't a problem in their previous BO2s, like we already talked about, but now only 3 frags.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the individual performance isn't going to be stellar. They're not expecting it, right? I am wondering. Some of the things that M80 are calling still feels like they haven't necessarily adjusted to the fact that Elevate are just going B every round, right? They're trying to play more towards what they would in most situations. But at some point you're going to have to adjust in here. I'd imagine that's part of what this pause is about. Def may be getting in their ears saying, look, fellas, it's 3 or 4 outside of B main at the start of every round. Go back to sitting and using those mollies late.
Yeah.
Try and play the time. Let them have the space if they really want it. The thing is, the thing you can do, John, is you can wait until they've taken that space and then throw the punish HEs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, it's honestly M80. They were playing it so well at the beginning, right? They were waiting patiently. They were using their util late and not letting Elevate kind of force them out into using too much util and knowing that they're a slow style of play. But I think there's been maybe a little bit of panic perhaps on the M80 side with the way some of these rounds have been lost. I don't know. But we've got a timeout here, so maybe they're having technical issues as well. We don't actually know what might be going on. But for sure, they need to settle themselves down. And I guess this is a chance to do so.
Yeah, you'd imagine. Seems like we might have a little bit of a player DC reconnect type of situation. A classic. But it has been really interesting, right? It feels like it's the quintessential meta on Ancient right now to go for that aggressive control outside of B main in towards elbow, so on in that vein. And it feels like they've actually been punished more often than not on that, right? That's what Elevate are looking to play for. But when they sit back on their haunches back towards the site and create awkward situations for Elevate coming through smokes and the choke points, that's where they've had some success. So curious to see what we get out of this next round. Meanwhile, for Elevate, look, as critical as we've been to them, it's working. It's working. It feels ridiculous that it's working, but it's working.
Yeah, no, I mean, the fact that they continue to go towards the B side after M80 had already won 4 rounds in a row, you thought that, you know, they would be able to rebuff them every single time, but it worked for them. So, you know, like you said, we were criticizing them so much, but there's absolutely no reason to do so because they managed to pull it off, even though there were those rounds where it's more of a question mark as to why they won the rounds and M80 may be making some mistakes. But we're back into the action here.
Change up.
And yes, there is a change up.
Here it is. Here it is. We were wondering. They've been training them so heavily to expect to be played. Okay, maybe that's why. Holy calzone. Utility usage has been good here for Rec. And they've taken a lot of damage early without anything to show for it. And now they're going to go back into B main control.
Of course. Well, maybe not yet, right?
Maybe a mid-fight. Could
They
be a
look like they're
mid-fight.
going towards elbow here. And yeah, that mid-fight may materialize. The bomb dropped right in spawn. That was Snav dropping it. So I think he wants to fight forward a little bit. The IGL looking to get some information for his squad, but the smoke is thrown deep into the B double doors here.
What's interesting, right, is when you force them to play this deep, the CTs run out of nades a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And so Elevate still have a massive utility advantage off of this. We've seen them throw this molly. This is the re-clear molly. Then they start to come in. Before we saw them get into trouble, and M80 just gave this space, but Swisher's waiting. What is he watching for? Playing anti-flash off this? Trying to play off of Sin's contact, perhaps? Well, the threat's coming towards Sin, and Sin is down. So now they're in trouble. The flashbang was to set up this peak. It works beautifully. The
nice
re-peak, though,
response.
the further space, that's not so good. Tries
That's
to
a
take it a
great
step
response.
in, and yeah, you're absolutely right, John. It's now looking tough. How did Mobs even hit that shot?
I don't know.
I can't believe he got a kill out of that. Sets up a 2v2. But they were both on the same angle, so nice setup from Elevate, and in the post plan, it's been good for them. What do you got for us, Slacks? Scope up, that's been heard. That's been heard, but the first player he's got, did Diaz show? I think he did.
I think, yeah.
They ready? Oh, the patience!
Oh, no!
Costs him. Love the idea. He'd been overlooked. A wreck behind won't make the same mistake.
Wow. You know, oftentimes when you see your teammate go up, your immediate instinctual movement is not to clear anything. You just go straight ahead, follow your teammate onto the site. But Rec, his wits about him, realizes, hey, hold on a second, Slacks. You didn't check left. Let's do that. And he gets the frag. So well done from Rec to ensure that every spot would become uncovered due to his methodical play. So 5-5. M80 do manage to get one back and end that 5-round run for Elevate. Honestly, again, they get a bomb plant though, so their money stays pretty healthy. They're going to have 4 AKs and the AWP to utilize, along with pretty much full util except for Dia, who's missing a flashbang. Ethan goes for that aggressive push towards mid. He tried to beat perhaps the Molotov out, which is almost impossible to do. He just wanted to get some util. Still there and Dia are gone. Up afterwards. I think he wanted the AK. There we go. AK back in his hands. And now it's a 5v3 in favor of M80. What a swing in their favor. Snav's trying to get one back and does. Sin continues to fight. You probably shouldn't. Uh-oh, that Molotov's going to trap him here with only 10 HP to spare. My
He knows
goodness.
he's
Yeah.
He knows. He's just trying to eke out whatever little bit of damage he could. Ooh, they've got this back to a manageable situation, though, John. I mean, you're seeing Rec has to rotate in to support this, right? Has to come on through. Swisher's now retaking the space Sin just died in, so he's trying to create the unexpected here. But this is where Elevate pumped the brakes. They got what they wanted. They got to fight. They punished mobs. That's most important. Mobs could have been very dangerous on that peak, but dodging the flashbang, punishing mobs was massive. Now they're inchworming their way up the B ramp. Oh, re-smoke. They're past it. They're past it. Just Wreck realize he does now. Certainly the jig is up. Molotov going to go in. That denies the plant space. Time's starting to become an issue. They're going to fight forward. Woo, big kill. Could have been trouble. Bombs drop just down to 1, just down to Shane. Recovering the C4, trying to plant it. But the spam is good. Smoke to set up the spot. And Swisher realizes where the bomb's going down.
Wow, Swisher. I mean, just a great, just memorization of that spam spot is what it is. And he knows exactly where he needs to shoot to take down the bomb planter who had to be uncovered because of the position of his teammate. And there you have it, 6-5 in favor of M80. That was, again, a very back and forth round. But, you know, Elevate unable to seal the deal when it counted. And we're up, I mean, to the last round of this first half. The thing is, Elevate getting that 5-round run was impressive in itself. If it dies out there and we don't see more from them afterwards, it'll be problematic. We'll see here. Dare is going to get the opener. Malbs manages to get the trade immediately, though, to defuse that situation and regain mid control. Smoke is going to fly out as well, so he gets even a firmer grip on it. And we'll push up to utilize that space. That means things are a little problematic for anyone who tries to come out of those B double doors. Malb's already engaging there, but he takes the worst of it, throws the nade up. Only 1 HP of damage to Snav. He has to actually back off of this before he gets caught out after that smoke fades.
Sin just trying to jiggle it. Play this on the utility, knowing that the ping game's going to be a bit of a nightmare on these quick twitch fights.
Yeah.
But they're both jiggling. It feels like they're mirroring. Oh, do you stop? It was such a nice dance. Now they're out of sync. The rhythm's gone. The magic of the moment's gone. Oh, all right. That's just a straight peak fight in. Smoke's going to go down, but Sin's in a really tough spot. Molotov on. They're coming through. He knows he's in trouble. If he can get anything out of this, that'd be huge, but it's not to be. Pre-fire attempted. Pre-fire failed. And this last round looks like it's chalked on for Elevate. What you got for us, Slacks? What are you cooking? Try. Gonna give it a look, and he's gonna get raced down with an MP9. So slow and steady might just win this race, John. Second half kicking off here. This is not quite the game we expected after the intros. Looking all M80 at the 4-1 line, and then Elevate show what they do best. Stick to their guns, stick to what they know, and wind up with a split half. I don't think M80 was expecting this. Now they're getting red here on this setup. Peeping gets one. Oh, an assassination here from Dia. But Swisher and Mobs, what can they do here? 2v4. Pressure on. Flash not there. Molly was good. Bomb dropped in the open. Swisher knows this is a desperation play now. Good luck. Godspeed. See if you can take any of them with you. It's not gonna happen. Snav mows them down. And it's Elevate on top.
Yeah, 7 of the last 9 rounds going Elevate's way. That, as you mentioned, a perfect read on their side as to what M80 were going to throw their way. And M80 are just straight up going into the A site, trying to take fights, and it doesn't work at all. They only get one, and, well, things have not started off too great for them here in the second half. But they do have a silver lining to keep an eye out for, or maybe not a silver lining, something important to keep an eye out for. Malbs is absolutely lethal on the T side entries. He's got 38.8% of the team's attempts and a 1.39 rating. He is lethal. So we might not see it in these first few rounds, right? They have to, after losing pistol, go for an eco round here. They should have AKs next in Galil, so that's the one where you're probably going to want to keep an eye out for Malbs and see what he can do. Going for fights like that, and that's pretty unfavorable, though, MP9 versus Glock.
Not ideal.
No.
Not ideal. Let's see. Here's going to be the burst on in. Speaking of MP9. Some money made here for Shane. Sidearm required, but Snav's got his back, and that is a clean second round for Elevate. No chance of a bomb plant, no whiff of one. But the guns will now be out for M80, and here's where we're hoping to see some.
Yeah,
hoping
I think
to see a little bit of juice, because, well, it's starting to look pretty dang good for Elevate, isn't it, John?
It really is. And I mean, like we mentioned before, M80 needs some wins. They need some wins to get into that top seeding territory. And if they continue to kind of split these series and not come up with clean 2-0s, it's not going to be great. That said, I mean, they did defeat Limitless and Lag 2-0, like you mentioned, but it's teams like this, Elevate, in the top tier of competition where they're really going to have to show themselves.
And
good
the
news
problem is as well, right? Before Sin came into this, nice shot for Dare. You did lose some wins. They lost some maps against teams that you wouldn't necessarily have expected. You know, playing with an incomplete roster, playing with Def standing in, it was clear their hearts maybe weren't in it, but it has put them in a bit of a tough spot here.
Yeah, I think they lost both maps to Mythic, right?
Yes, as I recall.
That was the biggest surprise. Yeah.
And look at this now. Elevator reading this. Bring a third player over. This is the same problem Elevate we're getting into. This B take is just a little telegraphed. There's still a minute. There's plenty of time. And you're seeing Dia shift back to try and adjust into this. But Elevate are cheating this. Playing the heavy numbers in towards B site. And that could be a problem. Oh, the swing back in. Fortunate for Shane. I think that he wasn't punished. There was no flashbang for that. Utility's now running out. Actually, Shane's going to get the better of Swisher.
Wow.
Just a peek in. Just a read of the spot he likely was in. Called his shot, and he got it. Swing back. Oh, my goodness. They're getting abused by this MP9. It's all in the slacks. This is a disaster, John.
No, and like you said, it's the bonus round. Slack's going to get one at least onto Dare, but he takes so much damage that engagement. You have to imagine he's not long for this world. Completely surrounded, Molotov trapping him in place. He's forced forward. Shane and Dia, oh my goodness, he was getting fired on from behind. Slacks is done. Just he gets one before going down, which is impressive in itself. But Dia ends his misery, and it's 9-6 for Elevate. The good news for Slacks though, and M80, is they did manage to do some economic damage on the tail end there. They got a couple of players, so a little bit more of an investment, Mike, than Elevate might have wanted versus having 4 players alive.
Yeah, I don't think they care at this point, though.
Maybe
that was the bonus round, right? That was the round with guns saved through. They've got cash to spare. It's another limited buy from M80. It's another eco armor on only 1 player. This is starting to spool up into something very dangerous indeed. So he's just gonna go through this. He's just gonna risk it for the biscuit, try and offset expectation. Smoke came out very late. I don't know if it missed the molly or what happened there. But they're in trouble now. They're getting picked apart. Nades on in. This was all just to get a bomb plant, and a bomb plant they will not have. Elevate, we're ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, without question. See, interestingly enough, I mean, you see a lot of teams opting to go for slower paced plays when they have their ecos and playing the mind game a little bit, but each time we've seen M80 in these situations, they've just gone for straight hits, whether it be towards A or B, or even like the straight aggression they had on their CT side when they were on the eco. So it's weird that they're opting for this type of style against a team like Elevate that's so good with their patient play. You kind of want to outplay them in that regard, especially when you're at a disadvantage, but it just doesn't happen at all. And I mean, it's a field day for Dare, who hasn't exactly been that impactful this match, but racked up 3 more into this round, and Dia gets the last. 10-6, the first team to double digits, Elevate.
And I mean, that man you just mentioned, we got to talk about him. 21-8. He had that incredible 1v3 in the first half. But it has been impact kill after impact kill. He is far and away the best player on the server right now.
Yes. I mean, without question. And he has done that pretty consistently, I would say, throughout his throughout his career, I should say, on Elevate since he was picked up by them. And I mean, he's behind Dare, at least in terms of the season, but he's that player that can really be that X factor for them on many occasions. Malbs, speaking of X factors, needs to come out here and do something. Have the impact that he had previously. There we go. Malbs finding that headshot onto mid, and finally an opening frag for M80 on their T side.
How can they follow it up? I want this cave fight. I want to threaten Snav. But he's not going to give it to them, at least not initially. Now, once again, other than the pistol round, right? We haven't seen too much action here on the other side of the map. That seems to be changing now. Bomb's still outside of B door, so keep an eye on it, but at least a fake is being thrown, and it's already starting to pull Snap. Oh, that kill's going to sell it. If that wasn't just their intention to take A, that's got to put Elevate under pressure. But no, they're going for a double cave fight. And as they get aggression on, oh, they're going to be punished on the other side of the map as well. So now pick your poison. It's players isolated either site, and they've run down Snav on B. The bomb will be planted. D is massively out of position, and it will finally be both the first bomb plant of this half for M80, and almost certainly the first round win as well.
Yeah, I mean, Sin's been stuck at, I think, 5 frags for a little while. Finally, he gets a couple, but it's Malbs that starts it, right? Just a great entry frag going out towards mid, and then gets the follow-up afterwards. Great work on the M80 side, opening up the space, and that cave attack that you talked about was the key moment in the round that allowed them the space to get that bomb planted. And now D is completely surrounded. I think they know where he is, too, because they cleared every other spot, and he gets one at least in his dying breaths, as Swisher will end him. 7th round picked up for M80.
Now you got to follow it up. Yeah. You cracked the code. You made it work. You made them sweat as well. Right? Pressure on both sides of the map. That's kind of the ideal for a T side. Keep them guessing. They don't know where it's going. They try and go for the info play into your hands. That's how you want it to work. Just got to do that, 6 more times. Easy. Easy.
Yeah, easy. No problem.
Definitely not a tough map to make that work on.
Very difficult map for that to pan out for. But hey, look, M80's one of the best. We touted them as near the top of NA right now. So if anyone could do it, it's them.
He's up on top here towards ramp, hoping that someone's going to give him the long peek. It's not going to happen, but actually, they're playing a little risky. The rotation out there. Dare's going to come into support with extra util. But there was a moment where this B side was relatively undefended. And yeah, Elevate shuffling the numbers around here, shifting up spots because they want Snav as the low HP player to play with the op.
Malbs.
Backside of A.
What happened there?
Is that just random spam?
It might have been.
From Dia? Malbs isn't going to be loving life for that.
No.
And now Slacks is low. Let's see what's going on here. Here comes the take. Here comes the approach. Shane dead, spots the next. Swisher getting information at the very least. They're going to take space behind that AG. Kill found for Dare, but he needs more and out of bullets. This could now be trouble on. Bomb going to be planted. Or with it now ticking away, the retakes required. Sin's kind of stuck. He's got teammate to support. Sin's going to be able to trade for the second as well.
What?
Just the low HP Snav, the man who was tagged at the very beginning, the man who invoked Bogdan's Law, now in a 1v1 in a clutch. First problem solved, but he doesn't know where Swisher is. The Swisher's repositioned. He expects him in the cave, but it's not the cave. It's not the cave at all. It's the ramp. Gonna be a tap. Pulls off of it. Swisher's not even checking now. He'll start to move, but as he realizes he's not on, Swisher knows he's won, and a shot will seal the deal. M80 building back in.
Oh man, that tracer right next to Swisher as he peeked out just to check that bomb, but it was already too late for Snav to come back in and get that defusal. Well played, tucked himself in, wasn't baited out by the fake defusal, eventually said, okay, it's been long enough that I can have a look, and realized that the round was already his by that point. 8th round picked up by M80, and finally they have forced Elevate to go for an eco here. Only a CZ purchased up. That's the only thing that actually Elevate have invested into. No utility, no body armor. On the other side, M80's got the op, the 4 AKs. They are looking quite strong as they're trying to make a comeback into this map. 3 players on B. That appears to be where M80 want to end up. We'll see if Elevate goes for the full-on stack at this point, because they've just got USPs and a CZ. The CZ around the corner here gets spotted out, and in the meantime, everyone else melts away onto the site. This should be M80 winning the round with only peeping left.
USP in a dream! And now 30 HP to boot. He's done for, keeping it clean. That's a welcome change of pace, I'm sure, for M80. He's got a little bit of finance building now. But that was the easy round. That was the easy test. Now, if they want to tie this game up, they got to do it against the rifles. One fortunate thing, no op. No op to contend with whatsoever. It's just not available. So that'll make life a little bit easier. Maybe, just maybe, neuter Dia a touch.
I mean, Dia's still really effective with the rifles,
yeah, hasn't
right?
slowed him down much.
Yeah, you watched him not only here, but in other matches as well. He can rock the rifle just as well as he can the op. He has been doing that with 24 frags. Now, Dare pushing out aggressively. He's half blinded, but it still works out. He's with Dia. Dia gets one, and Dare gets traded out, and so does Dia. Wow, Sin with the high ping, still making it work. Slacks connects onto Snav through the smoke, and everything feels like it's starting to go M80's way.
Feels like Sin's been the difference maker, right?
Yeah.
Not the player who should be forced to step up, but he's doing it here. Oh, the nade, not quite going to take a favorable bounce. They know they've got Shane painted in the corner, but in the meantime, well, Swisher's walked all the way out on B. So, especially with that kill, they will have all but secured this round. It's a question of how aggressively do they want to hunt the last.
One thing Elevate hasn't been doing very well is, saving these guns. Well, mostly because M80 hasn't allowed them to. But you'd think Peeping would have backed away from that mid-peak, and he actually does finally. It's just there's so many players to worry about, and given the money situation for M80, they're going to chase it. I love the way, look how methodical they're clearing out every single part of the map. So once they end up towards the A site, they'll know that Peeping has to be there.
Yeah, they're sure he couldn't slip the net.
Yeah.
There's just no way. Actually, okay, Swisher just got a little bit of panic. He's going to go back and check the ball.
He's like, oh, maybe.
If you have literally any doubt in your mind as a player, you might as well go check.
Yeah.
This one gun's not going to hurt you that much. Losing the round certainly would. Good flashbang, good clear, good kill. Trading one, perfectly worth it. No saved guns here for Elevate. And so M80 maybe procrastinated on some of these rounds in this second half, but now they're getting their work done and handed in just on time.
Yeah, and I mean, $3,400 loss bonus coming through from Elevate gives them the luxury of maybe investing a little more heavily into this eco round. You already see it with the UMP on Snav's side, and then 4 5.7s, and let's not underestimate the 5.7, right? We've seen how crazy it can be, especially in Counter-Strike 2. So do not count Elevate out of this round. M80 sending 3 players towards the B site, 1 into mid, and that one is, of course, Malps. He loves to take those fights mid. Realizes it's clear, at least within his line of sight. While the rest of his team, Makes life difficult for Elevate with the utility on the B side. Sin again, the opener. He's almost back up to even after struggling for majority. There it is, 16 and 16, and finally dies. So he loses the KDR 1, but it doesn't matter. He helps his team get a 4v2 advantage here, and the 5-7's not really a threat at all.
Man, oh man, look, you might say that just eeks, but he's looking sharp on some of these clears.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a bomb down. That oh yeah might have been the most Canadian I've heard you sound ever, John.
Really?
Yeah, you hit him with the oh yeah.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? I don't know.
It just snuck out for like half a second.
I don't know. Didn't know I could sound Canadian
slipped
saying oh yeah, but I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, just for a moment.
Fair enough.
Just for a moment.
I thought I'd eliminated that. Just kidding.
Just a little bit. Mobs making sure again, nothing safe. There was just an up this time, but if you're Elevate, you're gonna start pinching pennies anywhere you can because running out of chances. Peeping's thinking about the glass cannon. Surely not. Yeah, okay. That would be surprising. They need their util up here. There's gonna be no kits. Something key to note if we get into a retake. Could have potentially spared it if Peeping didn't get a helmet. Buck makes his choice here. Nade on, and wow, okay, Dia. All right. Heck of a way to get started. Util on, aim on as well. The blind fire.
Yeah, I mean, like, did the damage with the bullets, but it was the utility that got the kills. The nade on one, and then the Molotov burning the M80 player that was above it to a crisp. So there you go. Snav manages to get one immediately after Swisher finds it. So the trade is good. They still have the man advantage. It's getting perhaps a little bit scary because they have a player isolated on the A site. Dare is quickly over here to close the gap. Molotov is tossed into Donut, so that will push M80 back a little bit longer. Is the nade going to do damage? No, not at all. So Rek and Slack still at 100. They can readjust here. There is plenty of time on the clock here, Mike.
That there is. They've got the space mid. Is Snav aware? Seems to know that it's... Oh, no. Whoever knew it was a possibility, but there we go. And they're going to have the read as well based on the position that he was playing. I love That's going to be isolated. Slack sticks around on the angle, holds for the next. Bomb's going to be down. It's a disaster for Peeping. How do you even get out of this? How do you even get out of this? How do you possibly do so? Well, he's going to try. He's going to give it a look. The first hurdle, the rifle at long. Problem is, even if he clears this, then there's an off on the ramp. Apparently not yet. The bomb's planted open. There's going to be the peak, and yeah, as he goes to clear the one, Slacks will find him from the other direction. It's map point found for M80.
Wow, what a recovery. We go back a few rounds, we're saying, you know, it's going to be a tough ask on a map like Ancient to get back into this one and not really lose any other rounds, but they do it. M80 proving again why they've been so good lately, that resilience, that psychological fortitude to come back and get into this one. And Sin, in particular, the player we didn't expect to be the one who would need to step up, is the one who does. You know, he was sitting at sub 10 frags for quite some time, and then T side, he's getting 2 frags round after round to help them bounce back into this one. Snav going to throw the smoke here, try and fend off M80, but things are dire for Elevate at this point. I mean, their money is not great, so they force up whatever they can. It's 2 M4s and 3 MP9s to try and work with. Mobs looking around here. Also, sorry, I was going to say, Mike, in that last round, I love the decision making from Slacks to wait around at CT spawn to get that second frag instead of, you know, immediately trying to ferry themselves to the B site. It's just little details like that that make the difference between winning and losing a round.
That's unfortunate for Dia. Dies to a hail of bullets on spam timing. They've gone for the aggressive stack here. If the numbers get whittled away before they can shoot, that's not exactly ideal. Snap and Dare.
What?
Here we go. That's what they were looking for. That was the whole idea. Didn't even have Dia to do it. Now the bomb is dropped. It's just left to Slacks, and this one's a disaster. Not happening. One more casualty, but that'll be it. Elevate, giving themselves a chance here at overtime.
Wow. I mean, look, there's still plenty of cash for M80. They're going to have a full buy. But that is unbelievable. Of all the rounds for them to take, it's the one where they're just backs against the wall, 3 MP9s and 2 M4s looking very dire, and finally it works out for them, you know, on that B defense, and they take down 3 before M80 even has a chance to think about what happened. So 24th round, we're going the distance. 2 AKs available to elevate off of upgrades from that previous round. The AWP, the 2 A1Ss, it's, you know, down to the better team at this point. Who's going to have the better performance, either elevate on the defensive side or M80 with what has been quite a torrid pace to their T side.
Mobs?
Mobs wants that fight.
I think he's DC'd. I think he alt-tabbed.
He jumped.
Yeah, I think he alt-tabbed. It's the thing where you tab out, but you're still technically in control. Yeah, it's just going to take their peek and, yep, freeze kill of his life.
No.
Extremely unfortunate timing there for M80. That's unfortunately a known bug. Matching the molly, but let's see if it costs them map point. Bomb looking to be planted. Wreck dies in the crossfire, and there's still Shane here in the cave. They're not ready for him. That should be it. We're going OT! Yeah, Mobs got jamed there.
That shouldn't be in the, I mean, it shouldn't be in the game anymore. Like that, the fact that it is just, anyway. Let's not go too deep into it. I actually myself wasn't having that problem before, but sometimes when I alt tab now, I don't have any inputs. And I think that's what the problem is there, right? You just don't get the inputs. You can't really do anything. And one in particular is firing your gun. So what a shame for that to happen at this point in the match for Malbs. Now he's reconnecting, trying to get back in, but we are headed to overtime as a result. Man, oh man.
Man, oh man, indeed. Seems like, based on the timer, we have him back in here, but he's not on the HUD just yet. So we might need to do a quick little refreshy fresh to get that one sorted. Oh, pause still coming in, so might still be issues here, folks. I mean, this has been a game of streaks, right? Elevate, slow starting on their T side, roaring back in for the 6-6 half. M80, slow start, roaring back in for what we thought was going to be map, and then just not able to get it over the line. This is, it's been a tough one to piece apart.
Yeah, but, I mean, let's be clear. Elevate are at this point because Dia. I mean, 28 and 15, largely in part the big factor in coming out with round victories. That 1v3 clutch, in my mind, is the most impressive point for him throughout this match, even though he's had a lot of really important frags. That one in particular is what allowed Elevate to go on a little bit of a streak, get those 5 rounds in a row, and get back into the first half. If they don't get that, this one is already over in my mind, because M80 would have had enough chances, you know, to get that 13th round, and we'd be on map number 2 now. But instead, Dia has continued to carry his team on his back and brought them into overtime. Still waiting to get everything resolved with Malbs. Hopefully it's not too serious of an issue with his PC, but we have to wait. We don't have any information on our side, guys. So we're waiting just like you.
Someone check him PC.
Yes.
Let's see. Do we have any information? Ooh, no, we don't. Hopefully it'll be resolved quickly. Looks like he's in here. Yeah. We're actually on his perspective right now. He's just double up slacks. So we might need a quick hug to refresh here. But we should be good to go into the round. So away we go. Overtime on. Let's see what we got. No mobs on the HUD, but I promise he's in the server. He's taking the elbow fight. Getting frisky in mid. Peeping. Looking like he's piloting a submarine right now. Fire torpedo! Uh-oh. That torpedo's going nowhere. It blew up in the tube, and now they're in trouble. Finally, the change-up pitch. M80 were suffering from a little B-itis as well. But the A change has been a welcome one for them, as it's straight up a sweep, and now a sight with full control.
Nice shot from Dia, though. Go ahead.
I think Swisher was trying to line up the silent drop there.
perhaps.
Looks a little silly doing so, but it's all good. They still, reminder, got 4 alive. Malbs being, as he is, a bit of a ghost right now. And with that extra kill, yeah, Elevate don't even want to risk this. They're going to save. So we are done and dusted here. M80 strike first in overtime.
Yeah, in very convincing fashion, right? Just a couple of ripper shots coming through from Slacks. That second one in particular, just taking the head off of the Elevate member. And, well, 13-12, like you said, in their favor as they take this opening round and looking very effective going towards that A site. That's another really great point. Continuing to go to B. Not only was Elevate doing this, but M80 wanted to get into that bomb site or were ferried there, or whatever the case may be, round after round after round in regulation, but then finally go to the A site and it looks fantastic. So I think they should continue trying to exploit that.
We got these tendency trainers. It worked for Elevate as well, right? The one round that they finally went out, it was like, there are 2
There's
sites!
another bomb site, yes.
Goodness! Let's see what they stick to. Mob's going to begin towards Elba again, presumably. He's got a good spawn for it this time. They're setting up Veto for him to fight, potentially, but the Molotov will slow him down. Once again, it is a focus on A. You just got Swisher selling a little bit of information here out towards B with the double aggressive cave setup. It is really just going to be about peeping. They've gone to that double op. That's why they wanted to save in the last. And, well, he will connect the shot, but the question is, can he actually deny site control? And the answer is a big fat no.
No. I'm surprised they don't try to smoke out or molly out Catacombs before he has that clean shot, because he's waiting so long, yeah.
They might not expect this wrap. He is going to back into it. That's a disaster. Now the second one falls as well. A little labored, but it's a clean out of the temple. And they might as well be sending up their prayers with incense right now, because this round's going up in smoke.
Indeed. Snav and Shane are still going to try for something here. Shane, or Snav, excuse me, get the bullet to the dome. And Shane will at least do some damage before he falls by the wayside as well. 14-12 in favor of M80. That was, you know, a nice opening frag found for Elevate from peeping. Like I said, though, I think he had way too much time and was way too comfortable, you know, to be able to even get that opportunity. One player passed him, and even the second player is not looking into Temple. Anyway. But it doesn't matter at the end for M80 because they make up for it. They come out with 3 players. So they lose 1 more after that point and take full site control in a very convincing fashion. So we're into the final round of this first half of overtime, and M80 look to be cruising along. 2 flawless A hits for the most part. Now a nade's going to come through. Sin eats that just to hold his spot and get that util to sail out. Another nade comes his way. Molotov thrown. In the meantime, on the other side, Swisher gets one onto B. So there's only 1 player left there. That's Shane. If M80 keep the pressure on, he could be gone quickly, and he does manage to get one in through the flashbang. But yeah, traded out immediately, and that will be the B site taken.
Look at how many smokes they've had to commit as well to holding back Sin. Oh, it doesn't clear the cubby. Swisher low HP still gets the punish on this. Peeping slipped into cave, but this is really their one hope. Right now, it's looking like a blank half. And Rex gonna make sure of it. Dia, you can't save here. But I also don't know how you're possibly gonna get back into this round. There can't be any wasted time, can't be any wasted movement, can't be any wasted shots. Well, not even going to be able to get around the angle. Domination there in overtime. M80 switched on and ready to end this map.
Yeah, very few casualties as well in overtime so far for M80. It just couldn't have been better for them, honestly. And looking at that scoreboard, Slacks is the one who started to step up in a big way. 24 frags from Swisher as well. We talked about Swisher being that pillar, that foundation for this squad. I think he's one of the most consistent players. And when you need someone to really backstop you and be there getting the frags that are critical in important times, Swisher is usually the one you kind of turn to and say, hey, man, can we get anything from you? And he always has the answer of absolutely yes. Dia coming through with the AWP, open to find something. That's an aggressive posturing from him. It works. Goes into Jaguar, spots out Sin. 5v4 immediately in favor of Elevate, who love this B site, as we saw in regulation.
That's a nice tickler. Oh, and a little bit of a limp molly there. Caught more of the smoke than he expected. Full extinguished. Nothing on the nade pop either, so not really getting the value out of that utility. Mob's clearing. Oh no, this caught him off guard the one time he did in regulation. It doesn't seem like a player's ready for it either. Assassination there, peeping, never prepared, and now they know they've got no options. They can't leave this. Swisher takes the first. He likewise can't leave it, but tags on the DM, make him uncomfortable.
Oh,
Still
wow.
finds the kill.
There it is!
Oh, and he's taking it all. Disaster on M80 have got it. Elevate, nothing doing. They had just enough to get us to overtime, but they ran out of gas. The tank ran dry, and the car broke down, and it was M80 all the way.
Yeah, Swisher and Slacks finished at the top of the scoreboard. Swisher, because of that 3K at the end, gets to that 24 mark. Wow, I just talked about him, and there you go. That's what you get from Swisher in those important situations, is a beautiful 3K. Even the pre-fire a little bit, expecting a player to be around the corner, doing more damage, and softening up his targets. So absolutely beautiful from M80, I would say, across the board. Unfortunate with that crash from Malbs, right, in the final round of regulation, but they more than make up for it here.
Yeah, I think this was a tale of, hero play from the Elevate side.
Yes.
Dia being the difference maker to keep them in this game, to keep this close, to keep this contentious, and to be fair, hell of an individual performance. You had some good rounds from his teammates as well, but that was the difference maker. By and large, in the full sum of it, M80 was the stronger team, and you really saw it there in overtime as well when they said, all right, enough of this shenanigans, no nonsense, we're putting this one away. We are going to have another map here now, John. That's the question is, what are Elevate going to be able to do when we shift to our second map of play? This one's over, done, and dusted, but there's still one more to come when we come back from this break. And we're back into the fun, into the friends that we made along the way. The friends we made last time were overtime, extra rounds. We needed more of them, and it was M80 who took it once we did eventually get there. But now, well, we got a different map on deck, John. Where are we going now?
We're going to Mirage, classic map that's never left the map pool ever, and I don't know if it ever will. It's just a map that players love to be on, and we get some pretty good matches on a Mirage. If you're looking at the storyline for M80 over the last little bit, Mirage has been pretty decent for them, 7-5. And a plus 43 round differential. That's actually really, really solid considering that that win-loss record, but they've beaten teams quite decisively a lot of the times there. And if you look over at the Elevate side, it's not good. It's 1-4 over the last 3 months, and it's a minus 27 round differential. But again, like we talked about the stats at the beginning of the previous map, and it didn't factor in pretty much at all. I mean, we know that Elevate was struggling. They played great, largely in part thanks to Dia, like you already alluded to at the end of that map. Now we go on to Mirage, where it's honestly always anyone's game, really, huh?
To a degree. I think there are two questions that we had. One big question we had on Ancient that was answered, which is how's Sin going to perform? He struggled early and stepped up mightily on the stretch, really was part of a difference maker of that coming together, which means that if you're Elevate, the bully Sin game plan may not be exactly what you want to do. It's definitely still something to lean on if you can, but he's shown that he can collab back. And then meanwhile, are we gonna get another hero map from Dia? That's the big question, right? Some other players on the team struggled. I think Dare took like 8 rounds to get a kill, something along those lines. You can't have the one-man show. There was only one player on the Elevate side who was positive that map, and it was Dia, far and away, right? That can't continue. Need more of a contribution from the rest of the squad, because we're not expecting him to drop 30 again.
No.
What do you got there? Ideal spot. What's he doing? Okay, I don't know what exactly happened there, John.
I don't know either. That was weird.
Round seems effectively over.
Yeah, well, that's done. Maybe. Peeping comes around, gets one end. Yeah, it's going to have to be a peeping ace in order for this round to go Elevate's way. And that is not going to happen probably here, as peeping just gets tagged down to 57. And eventually, there we go. The final blow is struck. Elevate lose the round, and May to get the first. I have no idea what was going on there at the beginning. Like, it was
it looked like... I mean, I can't tell what happened with Dare. It almost looked like he was trying to get down the ladder, like maybe a player jumped down and he was following them, but I don't know. A little bit of chaos. We'll just have to piece it together afterwards. What we do have is a full MP9 buy, not one piece of util. Peeping's got a helmet, but they have bought all the way down on the SMGs. Everybody all across the board, and they're going for a double cat push off of it. Just a straightforward take from M80. 2 players in the site. Molotov gonna make life very difficult for Snap. Dia down, both of them down.
How?
Good luck on this retake.
How does Mobs get both of those? That's absolutely
the Molly
insane.
was burning one.
Maybe the Molly helped, but still, like, Mobs was in the open for quite some time, and he still manages to get a couple of frags with the assistance of the utility. Either way, 5v3 in favor of M80, and this round probably over. I'm surprised they're still fighting on the Elevate side. They got nothing in the next round. They continue to fight. They lose 2 more, and then lose the last as well. Dare I understand he's kind of stuck in jungle in that situation, but everyone else could have avoided the fights, and, well, Sin racks up another couple of SMG frags.
I'd imagine the idea was you're not really going to get much with 3 MP9, so try and play for some exits, make some more money off of it, maybe get some utility up. It's not the worst idea in the world, but no. M80, don't let it succeed.
Yeah, at all. Ooh, alrighty. So, M80 going to reinvest here for a couple of players who went down in that previous round. He got to 2 Galils, the AK, the MAC-10, and Sin? Going to buy. There's a gun on the ground for him. I'm assuming there's a gun on the ground for Sin here, and he's just going to run over it and pick it up, or maybe he's having some kind of connection issues. I don't know what the case may be, but either way, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to find out, because there's a tack timeout called by Elevate to talk things over. They're not happy with the way this map has started out.
Maybe just trying to cool down as well.
Yeah.
avoid any potential tilt early on, settle in, acknowledge that this probably isn't going to be their round, put a plan in place for the next. As we know, this team can be volatile, to say the least. They've been prone to internal issues before, so when something's not starting off well, I'd imagine it's good to head that one off at pass, you know.
Yes.
Get things firmed up early. And M80 is going to run an exec. Rinse.
Straight
repeat.
up. Well, you can't blame him. Oh my god.
It's just pistols on the other side, but it's just, you gotta feel for Elevate at this point. They're getting erased on these hits.
Mike, Sin is just running a USP. Like, that's all he's got in this round. He didn't really buy up anything, and he gets the opening frag with the USB, and then, of course, the rest comes through for M80. They push them back all the way. Sin continues to fire away, finally dropped by Snap, but loses pretty much nothing in the process, only gains money from his lone frag. And Darren Shane on the outside looking in. Is Shane here?
He appears to be in spawn, holding.
I mean, like, is he actually holding, or is he AFK or disconnected?
You might be DC'd. Yeah, he's DC'd. He didn't reset at the beginning of that round. Something was odd there.
Maybe it's just the radar. Who knows?
No,
But-
we're gonna. I don't know. We won't try and read the tea leaves on this. We are gonna get an
It's
investment.
weird. Couple of weird
Did
things
Shane
happening
not get
already.
loss bonus either? Yeah, okay, there we go. He's getting reset on the HUD. That's what happened here. And now he's a phantom. He's a ghost. I promise he's there. Somewhere. But we should have that fixed next round for you folks.
Yeah. And for us too. Sin
boy.
going to get the opener onto Dare, though. That's not a great start again for Elevate. This is their buy round, of course.
The problem is the way that kind of a setup reflects. Like, that's just trying to catch somebody off guard, right? That's trying to make a cheeky play.
Yes.
Doesn't project the utmost confidence in your own setups. Mobs has been found, though. That's something back in towards mid. They're trying to go for a B exec. He's just peeping over here. Shane, if you're wondering, was playing forward on the A site. Don't quite know where he is at this point.
Oh, peeping.
Gained a foothold. There's the kill. Blind or not, they'll have it. And now with mid control as well. This is going to be tough, but my goodness. What's happened there? The Khalil's betrayed them. They haven't been able to get the spray down. Snav 1 HP. It's enough. What do I got? Everyone coming out of the market.
I think the smoke is the difference here.
Oh, Sin. I think he might have heard them as well. That's a freebie for sure. Assassination on it, but just down to the clutch. The 1v1. Dia on the other side. Sin not able to lock it in. Dia keeps them alive, keeps them fighting in this one, and gets around on the board for Elevate.
If Sin is able, or sorry, if Swisher's able to stay alive in that situation and Sin strikes after with Swisher still up and running, then I think M80 takes that round. But because he doesn't have that luxury, yes, he gets one, but the duel with Dia in the 1v1, he just for a moment flicked around towards window and said maybe he'll come from there, and that's exactly when Dia re-arrives on the scene. And because of that small moment of hesitation, Dia has a little bit more time, half a second or so, to readjust his aim sooner than, of course, the last player standing on M80, Sin, does. Alrighty, well, first round found for Elevate, so that's a good one for them to get. The thing is, M80 still have more than enough cash to get a pretty strong buy-up again here. They're going to lean back into that A site, which has yielded them a ton of success, just with those straight executes previously, but this time it'll be a little bit different. You're going to have 3 players coming from that T-spawn area, a couple of them at the A-ramp, one in Palace, and the Palace player is gone. Dia goes aggressive there, almost gets caught out trying to retreat, but does survive with 40 HP. Sin has to be expecting this, and Dia gets a second before he's dropped. That is so big for him to find, gives his team the edge. Snav eats a nade, but now M80 are reeling a little bit. Mobs manages to slip through the cracks, gets in from Connector. Maybe a second for him as well on the cards, but not to be just yet, down to 12 HP, hanging on to life by a thread.
He's going to throw it from the murder hole. He doesn't quite know where peeping is just yet. Hasn't been revealed. They're rotating the bomb around. That's the thing. They know they've got 2 contained. They know they've likely pulled 1 more off. It's created a little bit of a vacuum. And well, now this has gotten weird. Oh, that's a heck of a shot. Swisher was low. It all falls to Sin. An op on his ping as well. Eesh.
He's got it. Sin wins these. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm intrigued by the faith.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Well,
15 seconds. Does he just try and keep the gun alive?
I think so.
They're not going to have a great buy around it. They've not got the bomb plant. I mean, we know he doesn't mind playing on the lesser guns, so this is probably getting dropped over to Slacks. But, curious if they force all the way down now. Looks like
I would say yes. Yeah, I mean, the money's weird. Might as well just force down. Slacks has the AWP. Get what you can. Mobs and Swisher still haven't activated yet, and oh, okay. I thought for a second maybe they're
kind of a mixed
they're
minds here.
unsure. Yeah, they're unsure. And Swisher keeps 1,600. Rec keeps 2.5k, but Sin and Mobs buy down. I don't know. I think there's a bit of a miscommunication there on the M80 side, but there will be a little extra cash into that following round for Rec and Swisher. And I mean, regardless, it'll be an eco, you have to imagine, if they lose this.
Swisher dead early. That's just the lone apartments player. They've left the bomb top mid. Want to get frisky. And Slacks has done exactly that. Player boosted in the window. This could get weird. Someone's going to have to go back for the bomb. That's going to be Mobs. Rack up in the corner.
Did Dare hear this?
No, but he should be aware of the possibility, right? They took this much control with pistol players. Yeah, he's looking to clear it. 100% ready for that play. He's wise to that trick.
Yeah, he was really
knows
ready.
what they're trying.
Very ready for that. Absolutely. No audio cues, like you mentioned, but you know, he still managed to realize what was happening there, which is a very heads-up play. 4v3 in favor of Elevate. Now M80 just sending it through connector. Slacks has the op, but it's not going to have much impact here. You have to imagine with the presence that Shane has, and yep, he locks them down. Slacks and Mobs gone. Sin, the last one with the AWP, and whoa, nice shot at the very least, but that'll be the only frag he gets as Shane gets the immediate trade, and his third on the round. Speaking of three, that's what Elevate's got. They've tied it up.
They have indeed. We saw this on Ancient. Little wobbles early on, then getting back into it. Ooh, what do we got here? This is again going to be a limited buy. Rex trying to figure out his math. He's a Counter-Strike player. He's not a mathematician. But eventually he's going to get there. It's a techie round. Love me a good techie round. Fast B play? That's what you do off of a techie round. You get quick.
Well, they're going to have to wait a little bit longer. That Molotov thrown down in front of their feet. But yeah, I love the Tech 9s as well. It's just lets you set yourself up for some pacier play and just such good accuracy on the move.
There's a spot. Surprised it's only smoke. He only did see the one, but now it comes through. And they're going to threaten through it. Here comes the util. Here comes the nades. The flashes are good. Peeping's down. They're in trouble. This is a big kill for Snav. Needs to try and stay alive. Buy time for his teammates to rotate in. He gets one more. That's something. And the cavalry is here. Oh, and the utility comes along with them. No bomb plan for Swisher. That's what they were really hoping for. Now Swisher reveals his spot. One more kill found. Swisher dancing around the pillars. Okay, no signature cap in here. Swisher, the dink! The dink! But no follow-up bullet means that this one's gonna be all she wrote.
Yeah, Swisher walked over an AK and picked it up, but he just had that rhythm with the Tech 9 already and didn't want to risk switching guns, especially because someone could have pushed up on him. And he gets a dink, but it's just not enough to get the frag as well. So M80 losing that round, despite it getting interesting, right? I like the flashbangs that they were throwing right into that B site, helped them get that first frag, but afterwards just mortar strikes coming through, and M80 could not deal with the onslaught that Elevate was throwing their way. So Elevate get a fourth. It's a little bit expensive for them, and there's the flick from Slacks on the boost, but can't connect on the shot. Swisher does manage to find Peeping off screen, so that's something. And look at that, Slacks also getting Dare. The B site's been cleared.
Oh no, now Dia's in a tough spot as well. Position revealed, Mobs just ripping heads, and there we go. Headshots all the way through. A quick round, a 30-second round, it felt like.
And M80 knocked things up once more.
Yeah, Elevator trying to get into the faces of M80 there, but M80 immediately punishing them at every single turn. There was only the B anchor that was available towards that B site, and he was immediately taken out by Swisher. After that, Slacks finds one at mid, and B was free and clear for the taking. At that point, Elevator probably pushing the panic button everywhere, and Malbs takes advantage of that with a couple of clean ones, and the round is just done that quickly. Like you said, Slacks waiting here, boosted up again. I like the idea. Does he see the head? Yes, he does. Hits the shot through the smoke. Dare eliminated. 5v4 advantage in the first 20 seconds.
You do be quick with it. Double ramp setup. They're going to get active. Comes a push. Here comes the motion wreck. Was thinking about holding for it, but after a quick check, he will back away. So timing can be the name of the game here. Elevate know they need to take some risks. This is the current risk we've got. How far do they want to push this? We know they're a little tortoise-like sometimes in their pace, and we're seeing it here. The flank's not going to be an impact. They're clearing out towards B instead, so it's up to these two players to defend. Backbench one. Backbench. Not gone. Elevation betraying, but one more player on. Yeah, this round is over and done with. Presumably going to be a priority to save these two guns.
Well, you do have Sin lurking around towards that A site, so he might be able to catch off Snav if Snav isn't careful, and maybe even Shane, because, you know, you got Shane coming through from top mid. Sin is postured to help out on both sides, and now Rek is spotted at the player top mid. Slacks, in the meantime, takes care of
Big
Snav,
gun.
so yeah. Big gun is gone, and Shane is trying to run, but M80 are so good at chasing, man. I'd be really shaking in my boots if I'm Shane. See that nade coming through towards ramp?
He
They're
should
gonna
be
clear
okay.
out everything. I don't know. I don't know about that. We'll see.
He should be okay.
Ooh, I don't know.
Well, okay.
No, I don't think so,
Needs
Mike.
one. Not gonna happen. Swings back in. Wanted to fight, and he got more than he bargained for. There's no money. There's no money here. M80 looking to secure 6. It's going to be most likely up against the USPs. Dare's got a Zeus. That's the investment. Respect the hustle.
That's the best thing you could buy in this situation.
What
The
do you?
Zeus.
What's your Zeus spot on Mirage, John?
Ooh. I don't know. I guess towards ramp, probably, in that the corner right up top at ramp. Like, right, yeah. Dio was just
Viable,
looking at it. Yeah.
but predictable.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Okay.
You wait until you get an audio cue from Underpass, and then you yeet out of window and Zeus them as you drop on them.
Yes, of course. All the style points, Mike.
Mhm,
Absolutely the way to do it. This is going to be a nothing round. M80 just taking care of business against the USPs. So yeah, a 6 on picked up for M80, and the Zeus is still alive. Dares and Con, yeah.
Feels like they're playing shuffle with this.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a turn. Hands on the taser. Sin's making absolutely sure. There's no way this can get... Oh, toe spotted. Toe spotted. One toe, two toes. Shooting them off bit by bit. It's the worst way to go. Toe by toe.
Well, Elevate. Spending down to 0 at this point. Try and get M4s. No op in play, which always hurts on Mirage. I mean, you want to get that mid control or con control with the AWP, and it just won't happen here because they don't have the money to invest into it. And not to mention the utility is also quite dry. So we'll see if Elevate have enough in the tank here to pull off a 5th round, or if M80 can really pull away with a 3-round lead before we head into the final round of this half. What a shot from Dia!
Okay.
Here we go again. He's the one who really carried them forward on Ancient. Now gets that opener, which is a surprise, I would say, given that it was pure luck. Shane does manage to get a second, but there's the response from Rek to keep it close. Unfortunately for him, he takes a lot of damage in that engagement. He is down to 6 HP, which makes this even harder for M80.
Slowing the pace down. Sin's got this base ramp, but the question is, what can he do with it? No one else is really in position to help him out. So for now, he's just jiggling, hoping a kill comes his way. Very spread out here for M80. Oh, that was the opportunity. That was the opportunity. Ping might have cost him it. That was a very careless wander in. I believe it was either Dia or Shane. That nearly cost them a big moment. Still, with the presence revealed in ramp, now they'll shift their focus towards B. Health's not good for M80, so this could just be a mowdown for Peeping, but likewise, he's got nothing to slow it down. So a quick headshot, and they're in a lot of trouble.
Lots of flashes.
The headshot. Wow. Uh-oh, John.
Yeah, they didn't even have to use the flashes there. Rec just getting the headshot onto Peeping, and now the bomb's going to be planted for sure. Elevate are completely out of position here. I was going to say, you know, Peeping's alone on B. If he is found, then M80 will be able to set themselves up and build that foundation on that B site. The thing is, Snav gets one and a second as well and takes care of pretty much everything himself. Shane pitches in for the last. That was looking good for M80 until Elevate readjusted and came up from Cat.
It's again, I think just the challenge of, you know, you understand why they put Sin in the apartments with the AWP in that situation, but hey, it's tough to do that on the ping. Still, nicely played, nicely capitalized on from Elevate. Making, taking advantage of a good situation and making that happen. Could have been a tough spot if they'd lost it. Now, instead, we got the capacity for another 6-6 half, another tie-up here. And Dia's got the big green to do it.
Double op T side. No. Okay. For a second, I was like, that's interesting. But it was just a matter of maybe they were trying to go for an early peek down ramp. I didn't actually have a chance to look at that radar in the moment. But either way, the op has now been dropped to the ground, and they've gone for the more standard setup here. M80? Have a couple of players peering around mid, tons of smokes up here, very little visibility for either side, and a good lineup of the Molotov towards top mid boxes, and that does catch mobs for a little bit of damage, but they throw a smoke into it right away. And now the visibility clearing up a little bit, but there's still two smokes up, and you see, you know, Dia saying, you know what, this is weird, I don't want to mess with this anymore, and completely backs off.
Down on the blue chair. You haven't played this yet. Could catch them off guard. All you need is one. Especially as Swisher's isolated, setting up util right now, taking the Molotov there. Yeah, there's the capitalize. There's the catch. Patience rewarded in a 5v4 now. Mob's trying to hunt this up, expecting the second peek. He's right to do so, but he can't land the shot. Even with the prediction, there's the juice, there's the gas, but Peeping is flooring it over by the van. Spots on more. Kill on for Slacks, a follow-up? No. And that drops the bomb as well. Molotov out towards empty. The Tech-9 comes out to seal it. It has to just be Slacks with the hero moment. Can he even get back towards that bomb? C4 retrieve. Planting it's a different task. Gonna be down to jump through. He can't get away.
Oh, yeah.
The dualies will run him down, and we once again have a tied scoreline to send us to the half. We are back here. Again, another 6-6 half, but M80 now swapping over to the defensive side. Elevate. Slow pace of play on Ancient. What have they got for us here on Mirage?
Assuming more of the same, Mike. Oh, Slacks is not going to be patient, though. He pushes out into mid and takes the head off of Dare immediately. 5v4 for M80, and they continue to push up and try to keep that mid control in their hands. That costs Mobs, actually. Snap from long range with a Glock manages to get him, send the immediate trade. They hear the footsteps. They know Elevate's coming. They just have to hit their shots now. Slacks backs off, and Elevate decide to slow it up just a touch here.
This is the strat. Oh, Diaz just revealed a pixel, getting in towards window. He still gets the kill.
That's crazy.
Still gets the kill. Has the read, has the spot. Doesn't need the jump, apparently. Slacks now taken out. Assassination for the back from Sin, but it's going to be Swisher who's under pressure here. Dueling with the bomb out of bullets. Falls to Sin in a 1v2, and this is not the guy you want, ideally. He's been great here on Mirage, but this one's too much of an ask. Elevate strike first.
The scoreline's really starting to mirror Ancient now, right? Elevate won the pistol round in the second half on Ancient. They do the same here on Mirage. We'll see if we have a similar storyline that unfolds here on this map as it did on the previous one. But Elevate going to be able to immediately get those upgrades. They got a couple, no, only one AK actually, a couple of Galils and the 2 Mac 10s as well. M80, they decide to risk it. They go for the full force buy. They got 3 pistols, the SMG, and the Scout in Slacks' hands. Maybe he'll be able to do something here. Oh boy, yeah, he realized that he's in a bad spot, so he backs off as that smoke gets popped. Dare starts to spam his position, but Slacks has already vacated that spot completely. Malps waiting with the Deagle. Probably going to have a peek out of mid. He's very, very good with this Deagle, as you've probably seen many times before. Just spams a couple of shots to get some visibility, but doesn't see enough to justify sticking around.
Here comes the maneuver. They're going to hit the heavy site. Heavy in air quotes, but that's a nice start. That's bomb confirmation as well. Draw some rotation over 50 seconds. On the team that changes once they've got their first idea.
Oh, nice.
Wreck taken out of play. But everybody's here for the defense, and oh no! Dare's just left himself completely exposed. Didn't expect the player jungle. But it's a brawl. It's just on the Mobs. Mobs on the Deeg, not going to make some magic happen this time. He is dispelled. And Elevate find their second.
Yeah, it's a good job from Elevate settling things down, because Mobs, I thought he was going to strike for another one after that. Misses his shots, but in the meantime, Elevate don't really focus in on him and get tunnel vision. They make sure that anyone else that tries to peek around and take advantage of Mobs, kind of surprising them on that flank, gets deleted, and that's exactly what happens. Then you only have Mobs to worry about, and his position is already confirmed. So that was pretty straightforward for Elevate after that point. They get up to 8-6. Extend that lead to 2, and the force buy, well, yields pretty much nothing for the M80 side, except for maybe a frag or 2. You have a 5-7 and a Deagle, and the Zeus, of course. You can't be in an eco round without a Zeus, it seems, here on Mirage. Sin has that in his back pocket. Where is he playing with it? No, he's just on the B site. I don't know if he's even got it out. Snap, pushing up here, gets one, and the second, but he gets TK'd by Dia. Dia a little too eager there to try and get on the action. Snap had it under control. I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, and it will not. Only Wreck left, and Elevate has this round.
Yeah, just a little extra blood for the blood god.
Yeah.
The old 6K, no mistake round. All good.
Indeed.
We didn't talk about it. We needed other players to step up. They've been doing so. Schnav having a nice game. You know, patting it with the 2 ecos here, but having a good game before that. Shane as well. Much stronger. Across the board, it's been more consistent for Elevate.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see Snav and Shane being the ones to step up, because usually they're more in a supporting role. You know, they're not the players that are looked at as the fraggers. We already mentioned it before. It's Dare, Dia, and Peeping who are the 3 players who usually take care of those duties. But you know what? Sometimes the supporting guys get to have their time in the limelight. 9-6 for Elevate, but here comes the true test, I would say, in this half for them. It's M80 with the full rifle buy-up. Slacks got the AWP in his hands. He was very good in the second half of Ancient and, of course, into overtime. And he is just pushing up, no hesitation at all. He is already towards the top of mid. He's got support in the form of Swisher, so they have to realize, okay, we've got all this information, all this map control. Let's just make sure we don't leave A too exposed here. And they're not. They got a couple of players here waiting to receive what will be a full-on execute from Elevate. That Molotov is so important. Great timing for it. Still a great shot from Dia. Malbs,
Yeah.
his victim.
Massive early pick. Massive early pick. Rex not getting stall out util either. He has to get done with the gun. The shift off. Oh, costs him. And he won't get another opportunity for it. This should be done. One smoke pop. And a bold swing into it. Okay, hold on. Round's back on. Sin lost. This will be difficult. No kit either. But here we go. A play up over the stairs. Swisher's brought it back to even Stevens. The Molotov might finish this. And yeah, can't get the smoke out in time. So what do you want, Slacks? You gonna risk this? No.
No.
Gonna think about the save. Keep the big green alive into the next. It's double digits on. This is just a mirror right now for what we had on Ancient. But you'll remember, this is where things came off the rail. This time, it's just the op they have to worry about. But as I recall, John, that was the same thing last time.
It was. It was the same thing last time.
Scriptwriter's getting lazy.
Yeah. 10-6 for Elevate. I mean, look, that was actually a great attempt from M80. You had Swisher coming through, getting that down to a 2v2. On top of it, he stays alive because Slacks throws a beautiful flashbang to guys off vision from CT, which is where Elevate were trying to put the pressure on towards Connector again. Fortunately for Elevate, they get another crack at Swisher, and more so they make it another crack at Swisher because the Molotov and the nades and everything just sailed his way, and he could not evade that damage. So well done from Elevate to secure the round, and then Slacks has nothing else to say, but he will have the AWP, and you do have a decent investment around it. You have the 257s, the Deagle, and the FAMAS for Swisher, and they have the full loss bonus as well to back off to. M80. Not really challenging just yet. Slacks is already taking a little bit of damage. I believe that was util damage. And he's now peering out of Connector to try and find a target towards the left side of top mid. And Snav and the rest of Elevate have already taken mid control, which is kind of being given to them at M80, by M80 at this point, which makes sense given their buy. But Slacks comes out and takes out Snavs. What a shot from him. He'll get a follow-up too. He doesn't, but Malbs does. The Deagle shot connecting onto Peeping, meaning the man advantage still in place for M80.
No guns to pick up, though. No advantage here. Sin's going to be under so much pressure. Malbs is coming in to reinforce. They haven't actually decided where they want to go yet, and Swisher's getting active out of Palace. Well, if he catches the ramp player, this could get really weird. This could get really sketchy regardless of what happens now. I think there's just missed wreck. Dia on this angle, going to the utility. Sin strikes from downtown. Dia wondering what he's missed here. That's a leg shot. Oh, the kill does come through. But that's the bomb. They know it's there. There's only 18 seconds here. Now the flank comes in from Swishy. You can't rotate in. You don't have the time for this. And the op will be retrieved. And again, it comes off the rails here in the round that should have been. Could have been a gimme. Instead, it's anything but.
That's wild. First of all, Slacks with balls of steel comes out towards mid, peeks up close to that left side and hits the shot, then fades away successfully. After that, Sin, his shot from Cat towards Connector with a 5-7 gets that one. Not to mention, Dia comes around the corner, then legs him, so even has an opportunity to take out the Opper. It doesn't pan out that way, but all of that chaos, that pandemonium, Elevate couldn't recover from it, and in the end, they do fall in a round, again, as was the case on Ancient, that they should have taken. So a 7th comes through for M80. Economy's still good for Elevate, so they got the full buy-up coming through. But on the other side for M80, it's even, I don't want to say even better because 3 players don't have that much money, but Slacks and Swisher with the saved guns will have a decent amount of change in their bank accounts to help them out in further rounds. So M80 starting to get into gear here on their defensive side. There it is. Peeping's managed to outflank Malbs, who was getting too aggressive towards mid. Snav gets one as well, and I think that they were getting a little over-ambitious on that mid hold.
Yeah, it's something M80 loves to do. Get a little frisky in towards mid, take some risks there, and this time, well, the risks for a reason. Sin mitigates some of it, but, well, oh, look at the spacing. Look at the spacing. Rektiv got completely past him. Oh my goodness, he has a huge opportunity here. Out on the edge of the smoke, bomb plant denied, but Snap was right there. Still, oh, aggressive right up in the face. It's a Glock to finish things. That's a chaotic round, but it is going to be Elevate getting their 11th.
They got that 11th a lot sooner this time than they had it on Ancient, so that's good news for Elevate. The bad news is they lose everyone except for one, so their economy is still going to be a little bit tough going into this one. They should be able to creatively get a decent buy up here, and they absolutely will. 3 AKs, the Galil, and the AWP. On the other side, that we talked about that saved money from M80, and now's when it's activating. You have Slack still on the AWP, which I'm not entirely sure how he got, but I guess Swisher dropped it, or maybe he had enough money. Anyway, Swisher on the M4, an MP9, and 2 pistols. So again, a buy up that M80 can certainly work with and come through with a round victory on, but if Elevate get this one, then it's probably going to be a little bit tougher for M80, even though that loss bonus is actually still pretty good and they managed their economy well. Interesting stuff unfolding here. Dia again is the one creating all those headaches for M80. He's jumped up to 16 frags.
Goes the motion. Slacks has got the first. Again, big green punishing. They got this ramp control, but they're going to be burned down. Snap burning down. And they want to commit into this take, but the thing is, with Sin pushed apartments, M80 knows. I'm actually surprised they're putting so much emphasis on this window. Oh, they want the crossfire as the player comes through. Did he catch just the one? Dia's wise to it. Ready for the repeat, but misses the timing. Just a pinch. And now Slacks chimes in again. Bomb stuck in Palace. They've cleared this all the way out. Sin's going to be coming late on the cross. Might not expect him to be here, but it's up to Slacks in the meantime. He's dropped the bomb. Now it's just Snav. 30 HP. No idea of Sin's location. The bomb's going to be planted, and Sin will end it. Oh, my goodness. What a journey for Sin all the way through apps, all the way through mid for the finishing blow.
Yeah, and the great part about it is that MP9, even though, you know, he could upgrade, he doesn't have to because the money is so poor for Elevate that even if they force up, they won't really have that much. And it looks like they do want to force up. Surprising, I guess. Well, they're on a double eco, so I guess not too surprising with only that $1,900 loss bonus and a 3-round lead. So maybe they're hoping for a little bit of magic of their own on their side because M80 have been winning these rounds with the inferior buys. The last 2 they've gotten. Slacks, oh my goodness, he is gone. Shane gets one, but a quick 2K right on back, coming through from Malbs to settle things down immensely. And I believe he got information on a 3rd player there.
There's that 3rd player. Done and dusted. Sin's low. This could pose problems. There's the spot. Oh, but there's this shot. Nicely done from Snav. The question is, can they eke out a bomb plant here? And again, with players low, can't get overzealous here. So bomb plant confirmed. Now some key moments. All on the Snav. Just the Deagle to deal with, and Swisher will do exactly that. Still money made. That's going to be a nice bit of extra cash in the pockets of Elevate.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it helps out considering they invested pretty heavily into this round. I wouldn't be surprised if they still opt for the eco out of this because the money's not going to be that great, but it sets them up a lot better for the follow-up round. And on top of it, if they can manage another bomb plant in this one, even better. Thing is, M80 are starting to chip away at that lead, that 10-6 4-round lead, now down to only 2.
You feeling another one, John?
I mean, Mike, how can we not? The way things have shaped up, right?
It.
Of course.
We won't say the word, but yeah, starting to smell a little hint of it.
Just
Just
a touch.
a waft. So we might get some faster play here in the apartments. Ooh. Nothing yet. It's a deco. Almost a perfect deco. Dare had to ruin it for us.
How dare you dare?
Elevate just spreading, hoping someone will give them a cheeky peek, a little unfortunate headshot. A little overzealous angle. At least for the moment, it's not to be. So a double underpass push. This will be the main thrust right now. They're looking to link up and end A. That presumably means Dare needs to go back and get the bomb at some point. But actually, as they're further committing, this may be an issue. That's a good find for Swisher.
Yeah, it is. This is going to be M80, you have to imagine. Okay, good shot from Snav. Makes, leaves hope alive. They don't have the bomb, though. That's what I was going to say. Dare will get something here. But I just don't understand how, in this type of round, you leave the bomb behind. This is just a complete oversight from Elevate. And Dare will be dropped. 10th round found for M80. Look, it's a round where they weren't expecting necessarily to win, but you still want to give yourself the best chance to come out with that W, and in that case, it didn't happen. One round separates them now.
They got the guns in this one. Can't have those oversights now. I mean, the last round they probably got a little further than they expected, frankly. But now it's time to see if you can close this out, to see if you can split the series with M80. Give yourselves a very important win on the night. Give yourselves very important standing as we think about that playoff seeding. Splitting the difference against M80 could genuinely be the difference between one of those top seeds and not.
Oh, yeah.
If you're first and second place in the group, that's upper semifinals off rip.
I think Elevate would still have a chance of getting that, but yeah, it gets a lot tougher.
Right now, there's a few teams hovering right around the 5-loss mark. I think that might be the mark. I think if you go beyond about 6,
that's when
you're in a lot of trouble. Elevate have 7 at this point. A loss here, I don't think that top seed's in contention.
Yeah. It'll certainly be a huge challenge. Dare gets the headshot, though, and here come Elevate. Rec trying to change things up, but he won't be able to do much at all. He does a lot of damage to Peeping, but it's still a 4v2, and M80 aren't really near this site. Yeah, it has to, I want to say it has to be. Yeah, it does have to be, because Mobs is low on money, and so is Rec. They have to make sure these guns stay alive.
So we're playing for overtime here on the M80 side. Elevate fighting, clawing, to try and seal the deal here, to try and not repeat the mistakes of Ancient. Get this one over the line. They'll get right to the precipice of it. I mean, that was just effective, right? More straightforward round. Nice headshots over on 8. Good execution. That's what you like to see. Just gotten them to this point. Now just one more round needed.
I think the good news for Elevate is that they haven't necessarily needed to only rely on Dia. Yes, I mean, Snav is the one who's kind of carrying the load as well, but it's 2 players who are working together as opposed to only one who's having these ridiculous individual efforts, as was the case on Ancient. So that gives them, in my mind, a lot more hope to close this one out and actually split the series at 1-1. But M80, you look at their buy-up, it's still great. You know, they got the AWP, they got the 4 M4s. This one could likely be headed to, well, I have to say it now, Mike, overtime. It's very much
you said the word.
On the cards. Yeah.
You said the word. I mean, it's not going to be easy for Elevate, but this is their best chance. This is the moment where you don't let anything get out of control. You don't have any limitations on your own buy. You seal the deal here. Made a confirmed bang-on win. Up Periscope. Execute being thrown. Set up by Snav, and they want to move behind it. 2 players coming up underpass. Swisher is watching for this.
Oh, this is really, really effective for Mobs and Swisher in terms of a crossfire. And Slacks already strikes for the first, then Swisher gets the second.
That's exactly the peak he was hoping for. That's what he was waiting for. There's a player in window. Oh, and they realize it. They realize it. That's exactly what they're telling them. Mobs comes in for the execution there. This is looking like they're moving right into the meat grinder. So many crosshairs trained on their position, and it's a flawless round for M80. No mistakes made. Now they just need one more, and we're looking at extra time.
M80 just wanted to play a lot of Counter-Strike today, I think, Mike, and get back into the swing of online CS since they've been playing so much LAN lately. Just they need some reps, you know? Extend it a little bit longer. I'm kidding, of course, but my goodness, this has been a very back and forth, streaky BO2, and we're looking at potentially another overtime coming through here. Elevate, they're forcing up. It's actually a pretty respectable force up. 3 AKs, a Galil, and a Tech 9 with a good chunk of util. But I think the problem was, aside from that one round where they were super effective, M80 has really dominated here on their defensive end.
Smokes up. Through they go. Oh, Rex only got one out of that. That's the setup. Look at this. They're keeping it even so far. They give themselves a real good chance. The utilities all but run out. That last smoke has been dropped to try and give them a chance to get this plant down. Although a little late to stop the cross. Numbers now ticking away. That's a retake required of M80. They've got the kits. They've got the smokes. They need some kills to make this happen. And Dia hasn't been able to move off this spot. Now he's going to try and make the motion. Try and take the action. Spam on. Harassing. Making him uncomfortable, but he's still got the kill. The reload required.
Bullets.
And that'll be down to the 2v2. Smoke onto the bomb. Trying to close it here. Slacks on the angle. He's
what
got
a shot.
First. He knows he just has to go for the stick, and he's already on it. Does Shane realize he's not got the spam? He's not on.
6
he's got
HP.
a sidearm, and the bomb defused. 6 health, the difference between the end of the map and where we are now. We're going for more.
Oh, not only that, but just running out of bullets earlier on the Elevate side, which could have been a 2K. I mean, he had the lineup. He just needed more ammunition, and it wasn't there. And then through the smoke, oh my gosh, will he be ever kicking himself after he watches that one back? It is just so unfortunate for Elevate. That close to getting the second map here in regulation, but it doesn't happen. M80, for the second time, are bringing us into overtime. Here we go, right into the thick of things. Swisher throwing that flashbang. Slacks with the AWP. Loves to peek out through mid here on Mirage. Diaz on the other side doing the same boost that M80 did. And, well, kind of a lot of nothing towards mid in the early goings. Elevate backing off. There's the util toss again. They're not taking any control off it. They're just trying to keep M80 committed towards this mid hold while they push towards the B site, which actually isn't that bad of an idea at all because now you only have to worry about Sin. Well, this could work out for Elevate.
I might actually read this based on the nade angle as well. Do they expect a platform play? Big trouble on unless Sin goes huge here.
Just clear your corners, Elevate.
Here's the mollies. Now he knows. He's trying to calm this over. That pulls Slacks onto the angle. Oh, they don't know. They don't know. That's the problem. 1, 2, found, and Slacks connected as well. They didn't clear it. They didn't check. And it's a disastrous take for Elevate. Nothing doing. No space gained. And the first bout of overtime goes M80.
That smoke was more problematic for Elevate than anything else. It didn't really benefit them at all. Like, I know they were trying to maybe waterfall off of it, but because they throw it, they remove the chance of them spotting out the plat player. And then you saw what happened, obviously. 2 for Sin for free. Unbelievable stuff. M80 just has the overtime magic, it seems, here tonight, and they get the 13th and don't even lose a body. That's the craziest part. Shane coming through here from mid. And honestly, oh no, Swisher and Mobs get another couple. Dare manages to connect on the Mobs, but the thing is he takes so much damage. Look at Snap as well. They have only got 39 HP combined, and Dare is still hanging around here. He's obviously got the support of his teammate coming up from underpass, but it's so risky because Swisher is waiting here at Cat. Goodness me. Nice nade.
Sounding nades. Just a thumping, a thundering distance. Whoa, that's a heck of a peak. Finds the kill from Sin. And it all falls to peeping. You can do a little bit more than peeping in this round. And he won't be given the opportunity. You know, in many places, peeping is considered a sin, so perhaps that's fitting. But once again, M80, once we've gone to overtime, they're making short work of the competition here, John.
Oh, yeah. Unbelievable stuff there. I mean, only losing one body throughout overtime so far. And it's, again, similar to what happened over on Ancient, where they were just, in the first 3 rounds, very few casualties and just clinical. And I think that time they started on their T side. This time it's CT side, and it's more of the same. So, Elevate. Need to find something here in overtime. 1 round would be excellent. And honestly, like I said, I think they played that previous one, the first overtime round, very well. And they kind of forced M80 into a tough spot with the utility they were throwing. They just, that one smoke at the end thrown onto plat was the mistake. We'll see if they can get something here. No! A resounding no! Malbs gets a 2K immediately as soon as he makes contact.
This has been the comfort play, right? The double underpass play from Elevate. They've gone to it a lot in regulation, and this time M80 called them out on it. That's Malbs just taking the swing, taking the fight, betting on himself, and winning. Now, ideal situation. You could play back on your default. You don't have to get overly antsy. You've got the massive advantage here. You know there's more presence here in mid. You're peeking ramp, so you know that's not a problem.
Oh.
A bit of an awkward fight. But it has left Shane low. 50 seconds on the clock. Slack's peeking. Some utility harassment to make sure they can't actually get in towards the site. Player in window. Self-boosting through. Rex taking all the space in towards ramp, and actually Slacks is going to adjust for this walkthrough. What a read from Slacks, but he can't hit the shot. Just jiggles it at the wrong moment, and he won't get it on the second face either. So now Rex in a lot of trouble. Swisher cleans out CT. They know Rex got to be here. Towards Sandwich, that's red, and they seem to have forgotten it. They didn't go for the full clear. It all falls just to 1. Dare, what do you got for us? Molotov to make him uncomfortable, but he's got the kill. A clutch now up, and just in the nick of time, he'll get the bomb planted. Rex was just trying to play that for the timer. But Dare's been able to slip it. He's back in. There's the swing, but Sin still comes out on top. Ping be damned.
What an adjustment from Sin there. I mean, there's no way. He didn't even realize that he had gone past the bomb site and already gone to cover towards Tetris, and Sin still makes the adjustment perfectly, gets the frag, 22 for him. And I think what's really phenomenal about M80 is that even when Malbs isn't doing Malbs things and popping off to be at the top of the scoreboard, they've still got that foundation. They've still got the players there who can come out and, as a unit, dominate their opposition when they have to. So that's been their bread and butter since their creation, since the squad's creation, I should say. And now we're up to 15-12. Only 1 round required for M80 to close this out. Man, they have just been flawless in overtime, even when they're challenged. Double op coming through from Elevate. We don't see this nearly as much in CS2 as we saw in CSGO. Largely in part because we don't have MR15 anymore, but technically we are in MR15 for both these maps. Dare! Oh, goodness me! Rek is just going to deliver bullets to his face, and it's a 5v4.
That's brutal. That's brutal. They're looking to find some form. This has been a tough game for him, and he knows it. Trying anything now to have some impact. The chase up on the Molotov. They've got all this space. They just need to cross the bomb, and they know it. Smoke gonna go in. Question is, does Elevate wait for this utility to fade, or they try and go through it? They'll wait it. They'll respect it for now. Gets peeping into position here out towards CT. Takes care of Malb in jungle. Big early critical kill. But still, the timer's their biggest enemy now. That's going to be the big threat. Swisher's going for the big rotation, the giga move all the way back around in towards mid. It's up to his teammates to slow them down now.
Is Rek going with him? No.
You know, he has to move off because of the smoke. He just knows he can't do anything. Player's already on the bomb. There's going to be the tap. And Swisher hasn't got that a few.
No way!
He does! He's found it! Peepin can't find the bomb in the smoke, and down he goes! Swisher, in the nick of time from the catwalk, secures the map for M80. It's again exactly what we saw on Ancient. We go to overtime and then flawless from there on out. I mean, really, this one felt like it was on a script.
Yeah, it really did. That's just unbelievable. And not to mention, Swisher's the one who gets the most important frags at the end of overtime, as was the case on Ancient. It was a 3K on Ancient. There's a 2K. I love the play. I love the idea for Swisher to just go all the way around, get towards Con. They obviously would not expect that's the last place they're going to be looking because the players were already on that bomb site, and Swisher gets 2. Of course, after that, the player comes up ramp and deals the last blow. Wow. Look, credit to Elevate. They played well. I'd say individually, though, it's mostly Dia who is the one who helped them get to this point, and we had Snav as well in this map, but they need more than that.
Yeah, they need a little more juice, but some good moments. Some good moments. Not the complete picture there. M80 managed to survive, and now Elevate, look, they're still likely looking at playoffs, but now they're in a situation where you've really got to be careful about where those losses are coming. It's really starting to get tough. They're sliding down the scales, and I mean, certainly the dreams of the 1 or the 2 seed are long since gone. We are going to wrap up our broadcast here, though. It was a good, fun night. Double overtimes coming through. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow night for more ESL Challenger League action. For now, goodbye, everybody.